we just ended the month of June, and the month of June was the Pride Month, or was recognized as Pride Month in many places around the world. And so, as the internet likes to do, and so as the pundits like to do on the internet, and so as people tend to do these days, they wanted to have a say or a speech in it, because some people don't like that June was recognized as Pride Month for LGBTQ people. So, people on Twitter made a hashtag heterosexualprideday. I mean, what? Isn't that like, I'm proud to be alive? Isn't that proud, like, live and proud day? I'm breathing, damn it. My heart is beating and blood is flowing through my veins on this day, so I am proud. Case in point, on Twitter, hashtag heterosexualprideday began trending. Apparently it became a thing on the 29th of June, and once every year for quite a while, a few years now, people have been going online and extolling the virtues of a heterosexual pride day. Now, this goes into several different topics. I mean, you could talk about February being Black History Month, and people of other cultures saying, well, why don't we have a history month? And it goes into this weird slippery slope argument, doesn't it? I mean, the argument that a group should have, a group based on their skin color should have a month dedicated to their history. I mean, you could go into so much minutia on that. We only have 12 months out of the year. Not everybody can have a month. Of course, people who are gay and also black do say that, well, every day of the year is a good day for whoever the group is, maybe be it whites or heterosexual people. But the nature of the argument is that there is a little bit of dissension. How does a group get a month to basically have pride and show that they do have pride in what they do? Now, this is coming from an article that was sent to me by a very lovely former employee at the Orange County Register, who I am happy to work with. She's an awesome lady. And she said, hey, what do you think about this for your show? And I thought, well, hey, this is great. This is from a Huffington Post article written by Noah Michelson. And the title of the segment is Queer Voices. So you can kind of guess where he's coming from on this. So in his article, he says, we are happy to report that most Twitter users weren't having it, and their hilarious responses to the ridiculous hashtag of Heterosexual Pride Day almost make up for the fact that some dumbasses actually think it deserves to be an officially recognized holiday. Parentheses, it doesn't. Now, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to say why I don't like this attitude, okay? Why I don't like what Noah Michelson is saying here. Noah Michelson is coming off as a little bit bitchy here, and I don't think it's necessary. This is the thing. It's like folks who have their own month or their own day or their own celebration, when people protest that in one way or the other, when they say things like, oh, well, why isn't there this Pride Day or that Pride Day? Instead of not responding, or instead of just enjoying the fact that they have a day or a month or something to celebrate their culture and the way they live, they have to be snarky about it. And I don't like that. I really don't like that. It gives me this elitist kind of nah feeling about it. And I don't like that from any side. I don't think that I don't have a problem with Pride Month, but it's like some people just need to kind of shut their mouth about things, you know? People need to shut their mouth about, we have a month and you don't, so meh. Who cares? I don't. Fact of the matter is, if I thought it was wrong, I would just ignore it. I would just ignore it, because being proud of who you are and what you are, if you're lucky enough to have a month dedicated to the pride of what you are and who you are, then enjoy that. Don't be going after people. And on the other side, yes, it's kind of childish, honestly, for people to want a heterosexual pride day, or why can't I celebrate my heterosexual pride? See, the reason that these things become a thing is because of the minority status of the folks who are celebrating it. Because history does omit quite a bit when it comes to homosexual rights, black history. It does kind of, as they say, history is written by the victors. And these groups have been marginalized and have been mistreated over the years. So I guess in a way it's recompense. I don't know, but I guess in a way it's recompense. It's coming back to, to basically having something to be able to bring understanding and bring light to the subject, something that many people do not want to see. Now, there were a number of tweets. This one from somebody who goes by the name of Dangerous Cameron posts a poster with a rainbow flag that says, "Gay pride was not born of a need to celebrate being gay, but our right to exist without persecution. So instead of wondering why there isn't a straight pride movement, be thankful you don't need one." Well, if this was plagiarized from someone else, or if he wrote this himself, that is a very good point. That's a very good point, because these marginalized groups have received so much persecution over the years that you just have to think that this is kind of payback or something like that. But in any case, it is a shame that we cannot just be equal and that we have to have these balances in society. Another tweet by this lady by the name of Kate. Happy Heterosexual Pride Day, or also known as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A little bit of snarky humor, I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's very charming. It doesn't bring me to the subject and make me think, ooh, I want to be a part of those people. But it does make me laugh. It does make me tickle. Then somebody named Demesis. In blue are the highlighted places where straight people are killed for being straight. Hashtag Heterosexual Pride Day. And it's a map of the world, and there's nothing there. It's all just white and gray. Gray ocean and white landmass. And the point being made there is that people are being killed for being gay. And that's not right. People shouldn't be killed for something that I believe, in my opinion, is not inherently their fault or not inherently something they choose. I am of the belief that a person is born homosexual or heterosexual, whether it's a defect, whether it's something different I like to think it's something different in the wiring, because I do have chemical imbalances in my brain. I don't think I'm defective. I choose to control mine because the consequences are negative if I do not. But who's viewing homosexuality as negative these days? I mean, yeah, there's the locker room talk where people drop words like faggot and all these things. And there's even been debate about whether faggot is really an offensive term to gays. Well, of course it is. It's a slur. It's just like any other racial slur that you can think of. But straight males will try to justify the use of the word faggot by saying, oh, well, it doesn't mean that the person is literally gay. As a matter of fact, it just means that they are straight, but they exhibit feminine tendencies, or they exhibit these tendencies that we label to be female. And that is also an insult. But this is years and years and years and years of patriarchism here. This is years and years and years of a patriarchal society that we're talking about. This is where this comes from. And as I said, victors write the history. And that's why new history is being made, because some of these groups are actually winning out. Blacks received civil rights in the 60s. It's still tough to be a black person, so I hear. I don't know anything about it. But from what I understand, it is difficult at best to be a middle-class African American in today's society. That and the media tends to bias everything. You think the media is liberal, right? Why is it that only the quote-unquote minorities with darker skin than your average Caucasian are profiled on the news for committing crimes? Caucasian people commit crimes every day. But why is it that minorities are profiled? Why is it that in the media, the pictures of gay pride parades are always of the scantily dressed drag queens? Shock value. They know that that will get into middle America, and they know that that will rile up the people of middle America going, what is that man doing in a dress? You would think we'd be a little more open-minded these days. Some places, time has not passed at all. Time has just kind of stopped. Another person made a very interesting observation when they tried to type the words homophobia and heterophobia. One of those is underlined as a misspelled word. And this person who tweeted under Queer Dog Dad, interesting, I wonder why one's underlined. Maybe because it doesn't exist. Hashtag heterosexual pride day. Well, one could say that all of this backlash is a heterophobia, and that it indeed does exist. That there is heterophobia, that there is distrust within the gay community of certain heterosexual males, females, whoever. That there is some kind of distrust, ugliness, something, but there is a sense of heterophobia. I would have to disagree. It does exist. If you are a homosexual male in a certain situation with a bunch of heterosexual males who you know don't like you, there's heterophobia right there. But it's based on the homophobia that's being exhibited. So one has to live with the other, I think. Another text from, or another tweet from a gentleman by the name of Michael, still here. Straight people aren't oppressed. They aren't even beaten, or they aren't beaten and killed for who they are. This hashtag isn't funny, it's shit. Hashtag heterosexual pride day. Now, this is taking it a little to the anger phase. I mean, here's the funny thing about this, is people are yelling about a hashtag. People are angry about a hashtag. But what about those countries in the Middle East and Africa that punish homosexuality by death? Why not make a few tweets about that instead of this? You know why? Because it's this society. People are lazy. People jump on something if it's trending. So that is why people get their ire up. People in the Middle East being killed because they're homosexual isn't exactly trending on Twitter. Another one from Nicolette. Hashtag heterosexual pride day. Brought to you by the people who can't stop asking, why isn't there a White History Month? Oh man, now, here we go. There's the correlation. There is the correlation between blacks and homosexuals. Welcome to Snarky of Oz. I appreciate you coming in. You haven't missed much. There hasn't been any of the usual dramatics here. I'm just talking about an interesting article from the Huffington Post in regards to heterosexual pride day, and I'm going over some of the tweets and reacting. But Nicolette does bring up a good point. I cannot tell if she is black or not, but that's exactly what I was talking about before. The people who say, why isn't there a White History Month? It's just because there is special treatment granted to members of society that have been assumed as marginalized, and that's all there is to it. People do not think that white people have it difficult. Let me tell you something. As a white person, I did have it difficult, but that's because I grew up in a largely Hispanic neighborhood. And though, even though many of them were very kind, many of them weren't. So I have a different view of things. Somebody who's black from the inner city has a